Now that you have all your products ready to start this project, let's get started by painting the main base. I went ahead and got most of the board painted so you didn't have to watch me do all that, but just so you know, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the effect on camera as well as you can in person, but this gold that I chose ended up being beautiful. It's Delta Cream Coat that I got at just a regular craft store, and it's called Metallic Chem Gold. So I usually just end up squeezing it right onto the board. That's, for me, the easiest way to do it so that you have a good amount on there, especially since you're painting with wood. It tends to soak up really fast, and if you're just constantly having to dip it, it takes a little bit longer. But just give it a good coat, and I actually only had to go over this one time, which was nice. Sometimes with wood, you have to go over it a couple times, which is another reason I loved this paint, because it just had such a good consistency. I would actually love to see this in a different color too for Christmas. Maybe if you're more into the silver instead of gold, if you found a really pretty silver paint, that might look really awesome. And now I will go and show you how to paint the glass while this dries, because it will take just a little bit. It usually doesn't take that long for acrylic paint, maybe about 5 minutes. So while that dries, I am going to go ahead and start showing you how I painted the glass with the alcohol ink, and I did it in 2 steps. I've used this quite a bit now, and I've really got the feel on how you get the best effect. Because the first time I used the alcohol ink on some jars that we did prior to this, it was very streaky, and so I've just did a lot of different techniques to really find the best way to get a really good solid look. I actually had one of the guys that works here came in my office the other day, and he thought that I had bought the glasses red, and I was like, no, actually I made them red, and he was just floored by that, and it made me really happy to know that they turned out so well. I actually used 2 different colors of red. I used the red pepper alcohol ink, and I also used the cranberry, and it gave a more darker, elegant looking red, because before the red pepper is just really like red, and I wanted it to be a darker red. But to get started, I did go ahead and use the red pepper for the first coat by itself. And I put my hand inside the glass so that I'm not touching it on the outside. It works best if it is a clean surface. So I start by going at the very top of the glass and just literally squeezing it and pouring it everywhere over the glass to where it just gives a really good solid coat. And you are going to have some funny looking areas where the alcohol ink comes together once it starts to dry, because it does dry really fast. When you work your way around the glass and get to the other side, it's going to come together and make some like funny looking lines. But that's why the second coat works so well, because it gets rid of that. So don't worry about how the first coat looks as long as you have it good and covered. Just pour it. I actually squeeze the bottle pretty hard so that it comes out really nice and thick. And just keep spinning it around. And as you see, I do have a plate underneath because I use so much of the alcohol ink for this coat that it literally just pours off the glass. And you would not want to get that on your table, I can promise you, because I did it, and let me tell you, I had to get some bleach out to get it off my table. So just a forewarning there. And it looks like I have it all good and coated. And I'm just going to set it on another plate and let that dry, and then I'll start to show you the next step with our board.